Hello. So we are back with part 2 of Chrono Trigger, so might as well pick back up where we left off, right? Alright, so as you may recall, we left off after our first trip to the past. Chrono and Marley are heading back to the castle now that Marley has been rescued from the past and her ancestor has been saved. We just have the two characters in the party at the moment since Luca decided to go back home and continue her research. Yeah, we are just about back at the castle, so let's see what happens. Chancellor, I'm gonna just take a wild guess that the princess's authority probably supersedes your own, but apparently not. So this isn't good for us. Chrono is now on trial for supposedly kidnapping the princess. Imagine if Mario had to go through this every time he rescued Princess Peach. Hey, Adrian, come on up. Ooh. Here, come up here. And of course they stick us with the completely ineffectual public defender. So this is where, if you remember, at the very beginning when we were at the fair, there were a number of events that you could do at the fair, a number of actions you could take at the fair, rather, that would have positive or negative effects on a future event. The trial is that event, so we'll see how what we did affects the outcome of this trial. And of course we kind of screwed ourselves, because if you remember, the real Chancellor from the past, when we rescued him from Yakra, he said that they would have to install a criminal justice system to prevent this kind of thing. So apparently this whole court system wouldn't have existed if we hadn't gone back to the past. Apparently it was just summary justice before the timeline was changed, but be that as it may, apparently we did this to ourselves. Yes. So, we are joined for this trial scene by the lovely Miss Adrian here, right? Okay, I won't make you be held up like that. Yeah. So who actually started this whole mess? Don't blame me, it was like that when I got here. Yeah, the character statements are what work. In our case, probably against us here. So we had one positive event at the fair where we found the cat for that little girl. So now she testifies in our defense. ever stolen anything. No, I've never been a thief. But we did steal that guy's lunch at the fair, didn't we? How did he know it was me? He had his back turned. Fortune tempt us? No, of course not. I'm saying no, but of course remember I made sure to pick up the pendant before I talked to her again, after the first bump into meet cute thing. And I did try to talk her into selling it. Sort of. I just asked her if she'd be interested in selling it. That's my story. Yeah, I made sure to get that line by trying to walk away when she was at the candy stand. So, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the guilty here, even with the cat saving. It's quite a bloodthirsty crowd here in the courtroom. We got one not guilty. Oh, shit. That's a harsh punishment. Now, if you do everything quote-unquote right at the fair, there's actually no sort of long-term change to the game. You still end up in jail, and it plays out the same way. It's just a bit of fun, where you can get a slightly different trial scene depending on what you do earlier in the game. Pan up to the figure of justice on the window, and we are off to jail. And if you get the positive outcome to the trial, the Chancellor still tells the guard or warden or whatever the guy behind the desk is that you're scheduled to be executed anyway, since the Chancellor's crooked to begin with. So, yeah, again, long-term, doing the quote-unquote good trial ending doesn't really change anything. So we have 3 days, but we're not even going to wait that long to take action here. Might as well drop a save there. This sequence isn't that difficult, but still always a good idea to save anyway. So, in the words of Thin Lizzy, tonight there's going to be a jailbreak. Ow. And now Tabby's joined us as well. There she is. Look at the camera. CHRONO's not going to take that. They didn't exactly pick the toughest guards in this kingdom jail. So that door actually doesn't open all the way, so there is another way to get into that cell and get that chest there. So first we'll go down this way. So these guards you can actually sneak up on and hit from behind. That way you don't go into a regular battle, it just knocks them out, and you can actually get a, I think it's a mid-potion maybe? Or mid-tonic, rather. You also miss out on a little experience and gold this way, but I guess that one doesn't have a mid-tonic. I thought they dropped a tonic anyway. Few recovery items there anyway. So that guard's gone now, but the this guy shows up. This guy's a little tougher. He has a low hit rate, if I remember right, but if he does hit you, he can do some damage. Yeah, I think he usually misses. Two critical hits in a row for us. Another ether for him, from him too. Alright, so these things you can only hit when they're popped out from behind their shield. Just kind of have to wait till one of them does that, and I targeted the wrong one. Sorry. If you hit one that's not behind his shield, you get a counterattack, and it does minimal damage. But there we go. But once they do pop out from their shield, they only take one hit, so fairly easy enemies, just slightly annoying with the having to wait for them to show their face. And we have some supernatural doings transpiring in this cell. CHRONO's getting a lot of criticals so far. And I think this gate also only goes up part way, so yeah. But again, there's another way to get into that. So here we get a pincer attack. See if we can get them close enough to hit a cyclone on both. Yeah, there we go. Took a hit in the meantime, but... Maybe this is where they start dropping tonics, if you knock them out. If they see you, as just happened there, they attack and you do a regular battle. And of course they're not very tough, so... Little bit of experience in gold, what we do miss out on. Again, I'm pretty sure it's a mid-tonic they start dropping. Ah, damn it. Keep getting excited. Alright, so this is actually the boyfriend of Elaine, who's the daughter of the owner of the shop in town. And you actually get some free items later if you save him here. Or I guess he's the son of the guy who runs the store. Elaine's his unrelated girlfriend. Bronze male. Chrono already has one of those, but we can save that for somebody else later. If it's not already outdated by that point, anyway. Hello, Tabby. It is a mid-tonic. No fight on that bridge. Alright, so we'll go down here. I think the order is down left, up left, and up right in this tower. Hey man, we can get out of here. Oh. Okay, sorry. That's depressing. So we have to fight these things. Use a tonic while we're waiting for this one to turn out. Or drop its shield. Yeah, so I think we go up left and then up right to make sure we get everything before we leave this dungeon. So yeah, here gate's wide open, so we can actually go through the hole in the side of the wall and climb down. So we can grab a shelter there, but then there's a hole here, and this takes us down to the cell next to the cell we started in, which has a couple of chests in it. Oops. The other one I think is a load sword, so we'll go back down and get that. I want to say there's 2 load swords to find. You can also buy them, like, right at the beginning of the game if you manage to get enough gold together to buy it from Melchior, which I did not do. But, yeah, that is, for the moment, the best sword available to Chrono, so we'll replace his steel saber from the cathedral. So we just need to climb back up, not go through the door again, climb back up. And then I think we're just about done with this dungeon anyway. We don't need to fight those again. We can if we want, but they're not worth much experience anyway. So I can't remember if you can actually sneak up on these 2 to knock them out, or if they always see you. Quite close enough to get the Cyclone on both, apparently, so that was kind of a waste. Oh well. We could just knock this guy out. He has, I think he has 5 tonics. Yep. This document just kind of gives you hints for the battle with the dragon tank, which I already know how to do it, so we don't need to use that. Do we need to use the shelter? Not really, honestly. I'll just save it. Chrono did use 2 Cyclones, but if we really run out of MP on this, we can just use a tonic in battle. Well, this doesn't look very good. How'd they get that thing up the tower, anyway? I mean, these all look like narrow stairways. So basically you want to attack the head first, then the wheel, then the body. And I think it's actually pretty much immune to fire, so I'll just do a regular attack on Luca, and she gets a critical. So that was pretty good. The head will keep healing it, but if you're hitting the head with both characters each turn, it's probably... You're going to do more damage than it can restore, so eventually the head will disappear, and then you can get rid of the wheel and the body. Might actually want to throw a tonic on a Chrono. Probably Luca fairly soon will need one too. Alright, so there's the head. So we don't have to worry about it healing itself anymore. I'll just do a regular tonic for now. Alright, so now it can't move, and it can't heal, and it can't move, so we can just kind of spam our biggest attacks until it goes down now. Let me do a regular attack on it. Again, I think it is actually strong against fire, so that fire roll might not have done as much damage as even a regular attack. Certainly a critical. It was about the same as a critical, actually, on Chrono. So by just doing regular attacks with both, we'll do slightly more damage to it. But at this point about all it can do is that laser beam. And there it is. So this gets kind of a dramatic end to the battle. we walk by like we didn't see nothing. Oops, there was a chest there. Shelter, it's always helpful. Yeah, none there. So it doesn't actually matter. These guys can't actually catch you. Chancellor got down pretty quick. She just happened to have her street clothes on under that fancy dress. So we have a little final chase scene into the forest here. Silence, I didn't say anything. I never say anything. So one thing to remember here is, by this gate, there's a sealed box. We can't open it yet, but we do want to remember that's there, because this particular sealed box you can actually miss if you don't open it by a certain point. At least if you don't open it by a certain point without making sure to get an access to this gate through the end of time, which we will see later on. So we want to make sure to go through this gate at some point before it gets sealed off. I forget what's in that box, but most of those have something pretty good in them, so we'll want to get it by the end of the game. Alright, well, here goes nothing. This door works like those sealed boxes. We can't open it yet, but at a certain point we will be able to, and we'll want to make sure to come back to get all of those opened up and get what's behind them. So it's actually optional to go down to this dome. As you could probably guess, we're in the post-apocalyptic future now. And again, this dome is kind of optional, but we might as well come down here anyway. Alright, so the iron suit, we'll want to get that for everybody, and the iron helm. And the autogun for Luca. So, get the armor first. 3 of those, 1 of those. Might want to grab a couple extra mid-tonics too. And maybe a few extra heals. And a couple of revives while we're at it. Get an even 10 of those. So we have a little money left, but yeah, that should be good for now. So we'll make sure we equip all of our new stuff here. I tend to try to keep at least one of each weapon and armor in this game. You don't have to, but it's just my collector's instinct, I guess. I like having, you know, whenever you go into this list, I like having the full complement of items to pick from. Oh, and then for Luca, she gets the auto gun, too. The auto gun, is that the one? No, there's one we get later in this time period, probably during this session, that, has a stop effect on robots. It can cast stop on them, basically. I was thinking it was the auto gun for some reason, but no, that's... I don't know why I thought that. This seems a little early to get something fairly powerful like that, anyway. So the Enertrons appear in a few domes. I think each dome in this time period has one. At least each one we can get to at this point, and they're basically free ins. They apparently leave you hungry after staying in them, but for gameplay purposes, that doesn't affect us. It still restores our HP and MP. And there's another sealed door there, so we'll want to come back once we have the item necessary to open those. Alright, so to get to the next area, which is where we want to go, we need to go through... I guess you'd call this a dungeon, this city area. These rats are annoying. They steal potions. I think the man-eater, this plant thing, I think that can do like a group heal on the enemies, so we want to probably take that out first. This is actually kind of the first time we're really getting to use Marley, too. In the previous instances of her being a usable character, she's just there for a little while and then leaves the party, so now we're finally getting to use her. She should relatively soon be getting her second ability also. We can actually check on that. Let's see. Provoke, so 35, so a little while, but we'll just have to make sure we fight everything we can and making our way through these ruined areas. So I think we'll try a Fire Whirl on those three. Those out. Just a Cyclone might have possibly taken all of those out too, but I guess the Fire Whirl is insurance on it. Yeah, there's the second load sword. Load bow, that's for Marley. Actually managed to avoid the rats pretty well so far. I'm probably jinxing it by saying it, but yeah. So the way they're positioned, we can actually hit them with Chrono's slash attack, and that'll actually hit either grouping. Both on either side, that is. We might even be able to manage the group on the left with Lucas Flame to us. Yeah, so. Didn't do much damage on the Octopod. I don't know if that's actually immune to fire or what. Let's do the slash. No, they're out of position. Just do regular attacks. Yeah, this game, it's a very similar battle system overall to Final Fantasy, but it does have its own twists. Obviously, the group attacks, the double and triple attacks, that use 2 or 3 characters at a time is one thing, but it also, for a lot of attacks, does take into account position on the battlefield of enemies, and they can move around. A lot of enemies dropping ethers here, which is not a bad thing. I can't talk today, which is not a bad thing at all. So with these, we should be able to hit most, if not all of these, with a fire whirl, so I think we can get 4 out of 5 at least. Yeah, do that. Up on Marley. Let's just check their stats. So Luca and Marley do have the same speed currently, and of course the caveat to that is that Luca has the speed belt equipped, which is a plus, I believe a +3 bonus to her speed. +2 bonus, so yeah. Oh, yeah, lost a tonic there. Again, we did pretty well in avoiding the rats overall. So these things you can only hit with magic. And physical attacks, I believe, always miss on them. So I'm actually going to wait till Chrono recharges and do Fire Whirl, because otherwise we'd have to wait for Lucas' turn to come up, because the only attack we have currently that counts as magic, or at least does magic damage, is the Fire Toss, or the Fire Whirl. So we kind of need Luca to be able to take those shadows out. And these mutants are the toughest enemies in this section. Not necessarily difficult, but they have a lot of hit points. I think 300 or so hit points, if I remember right, so they take a little bit more damage to take down. We might actually want to hit a Fire Whirl with Chrono and Marley. Marley, again, she gets a little bit hamstrung later in the game because she never gets a solo group heal move. Her only group heal was the Aura Whirl with Chrono. But for now, it's useful anyway. Down there. Oops. But Shadow is coming out of the hydrant. I think we probably really need a proton pack to take these things out. If we didn't have the flame toss anyway. Or Fire Whirl flame toss. he's doing on that technique. 11 more to get it. And then I think that's, again, her last one. I think each of them only get one at this point. One in addition to the one they start with. So before we go into the sewer axe, before we go into this dome, rather, I will go into it first so we can rest up, but before we go into the dungeon component of this dome, I think I'm actually going to come back out and go to that sewer access. So this kid has a shop. I think it's the same stuff as the shop in that first dome. Yeah. So, we don't need to buy anything. We will use the Enertron, and then again, I'm going to back out of this dome for now, and we'll do the sewer access first, which is optional, but we can get some good items, so may as well do that first. Save here. Must report to Sir Crawley. Why do I have a feeling we're going to meet Sir Crawley before too long? I think we can get a slash on those two, and then the Fishman in the water, the Nereid, should be the more dangerous enemy of the two types here, so we'll try to get him first, and then get rid of these egg things. Gold there. More of these guys. These enemies are slightly tougher than the ones in the rooms, I would say. But not by a whole lot. So I think this just gives you a hint about not making noise. Which basically just translates to not touching any of the things here. The cat, the can, the sewer cheese, and the save, even the save point will all get you attacked. So. Through that little passage there to get the switch for the door. I forget what the Rage Band does. I know the Berserks you. I guess the Rage Band just ups your counterattack rate. So here's, I guess you call Crawley your boss fight. He's not terribly difficult, but... That said, he doesn't even get the boss music, so I guess he's a mini-boss, you could say. I'll go ahead and put a heal on Luca. So, I think this attack reduces you to 1. Yeah. Yeah, so he doesn't get the boss music, but he does get the boss defeat animation. Alright, so we got Provoke on Marley. Again, that's her secondary attack, which I think is, yeah, it's a confuse effect. And yeah, they won't get another special ability until we learn how to use actual magic attacks, which is kind of just a plot point we'll get to. And the Bolt Sword, again, I think there's 2 of those to find also, and that's quite, actually not quite a bit stronger than the Load Sword, but we'll equip it anyway. I think we will have it for a little while. So this just comes out the other side. We can go into the Keeper's Dome. The very evocative music track. And a computer that doesn't quite want to work. Rather eerie. The whole set piece here as you come in again and find this non-functioning computer. The computer does eventually work. It lets you change the name of your time machine later. Spoiler, but... And they have to show you the way. We'll find out quite a bit later what all of this is about. It's not just insane ramblings. can't open yet. So again, coming here at this point was thoroughly optional, but we got some items and experience going through the sewers, and again, it's just kind of neat foreshadowing. We can try to go up Death Peak, but just like that guy said, we can't make it up yet, but we can grab the power tab while we're here anyway. So before we go back into the sewers, we probably want to use a shelter just to fully heal up. Might as well drop a save too. And then we can take a shortcut to skip not all, but a fair amount of the sewer on the way back. I think this is the exit. Yeah. Alright, so one more save here, and then we can go down into the dungeon area of the Aristome. Alright, here we go. Down into the dome. Now we can open this, I think. Yeah, I guess you can't actually open it until you learn the password, even if you know it already. It's a button combination. Yeah. Was right the first time on the path here. Uh-oh, alarm going off. Ooh. So this thing is not quite as threatening as it looks. It's definitely not as tough, at least the first time you meet the Guardian from Final Fantasy VI. And it's one of those enemies where you want to take out its minions, the bits in this case, before you can really hit the main part of the boss. There's one. That should take out the other one. So then there's a countdown until it revives the bits. So you just want to get as much damage as you can in until those things come back. Just rinse and repeat, basically. Taking a few good hits there, so we'll heal her up. Got it. So, this is a little bit annoying, but usually not terribly difficult, as long as you don't get hung up on the corners. Ah, almost had him there. We might actually... got him. Alright, so now we want to go into the other side here by way of this console. You have to put in that button combination, which I knew already, but the game won't actually let you go through until your characters learn it. Yeah, these robots are kind of glitching out and attack the other enemies, too. But they will attack you if you attack it. See, it might actually be worth waiting a round or two and just let this thing take out the rats for us. Ah, that's good enough. So this sealed door we can't open, but we might as well open the console. So we have the path clear later when we do have the ability to open that, since we'll have to come back here. For now, we'll just go through here, and this is kind of our big plot revelation for this section of the game. This is how the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. And actually some fairly large bangs, too. No. Okay. We'll say okay. Just try to avoid all the rest of the fights going back here. another set of runes to go through. There's the jet bike. Man. So, I guess you are forced into doing this minigame the first time. We do actually kind of want to walk through the runes, because there's a couple items, including an item for this minigame, that you can get there. So if we lost this, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I do like the background, the sky. Reminds me a little bit of the sky in the final battle in Final Fantasy VI. The rays of light coming through the clouds. So, we did win, but... let's go back through anyway. 3 of these mutants at once. Let's actually see if we can put these guys to sleep. Ones we're not actively attacking anyway. And we did get at least 2 of them asleep, I think. Yeah, one's still moving around, so we'll attack that one first. So yeah, that was helpful, actually, using the Hypno Wave there. I don't think we've used that move on Luca yet, but came in handy. Again, put 2 of these asleep so we can take it away. Kind of focus on taking one out at a time. Of course, the one we started fighting after taking down the first one woke up, but we only really have to deal with them one at a time at least. So we should be able to get all 5 of these at once with the Fire Whirl. So the race log basically just keeps your score for the jet bike mini game, and it also lets you select from 2 different modes on it. Let's get Luca to Hypno Wave these things again. Alright, the other one is asleep until we start attacking it. experience, we might as well fight these. Skip the hypno wave again. I think only one of those got put to sleep this time. Try that again. Alright, got 2 of them. So of the 2 left, this one had already taken some damage before it went to sleep, so take that one out. Takes us back to the starting point, so we'll do the mini game to, assuming we win it, try to get across that way again. Actually, I should have talked to Johnny before the race started, because when you talk to him after getting the race log, it opens up some options for keeping the score for this and changing the mode. The other mode, you don't have the speed boosts, which I never really found helped that much to begin with, but you can actually rotate. In the other mode, you can rotate the view using the Mode 7 technology. We just lost that by a nose. Mode 2. So it doesn't actually track the results from before you got the race log. Here's what it looks like. You can change the view. I don't really know why they didn't just have one mode where you had speed boost and you could change the view. But for whatever reason, you have to pick between the 2. A lot of times I find if you actually stay behind them until the very end and then, like, kind of on a bump back, go around them. There, like that. It might not be the way to get the best score, but it seems to be, for me, the best way to actually ensure that you win it. So the factory we'll skip for now because we can't go into it yet anyway. We'll just go down to the dome here. Yeah, they're too separated to get with any cyclone-based moves. try Provoke on the last one. Just see if we can get it attacking its compatriots. Nope. The robot is unmoved by Marley's charms, apparently. Robots might, possibly, they might all just across the board be immune to, like, sleep and confuse attacks. Or confuse and sleep effects, rather. So might as well use the Enertron while we're here. And here we find our newest companion. I don't know if Robo is really that much of an improvement, not terribly creative. And yes, his music sounds kind of like Never Gonna Give You Up, so... We rebuilt Robo, turned him on, and he immediately rickrolls us. Oh, of course. Why would the auxiliary power switch be located in the dome that's out of power? Why not put it in the factory north of town? So you can do the factory pretty easily with either character. Marley obviously has the healing ability. Luca has the better damage ability. I think for our purposes, probably Luca's the better one to stick with, and I actually did that wrong. I meant to leave Marley behind, and... yeah. I meant to leave Marley behind and take Luca with us. Again, you can do... I've done it with either. I think I did it with Marley first, because I kind of leaned... The first time I played through the game, I leaned really heavily on her healing ability. But, the damage potential for Luca especially the ability to do Fire World, I think kind of wins out. Robo, incidentally, for gameplay purposes, is probably my favorite character in this. He is naturally slow, although you can boost that. And he has low magic defense, but he gets attacks. He has strong physical attacks, both regular and special. And he also gets his natural... He doesn't naturally have an element according to the game's lore, since he never learns magic, but he is the only character, other than the optional one that we can get later, that has a shadow attack with his laser spin, and he also gets attacks in all of the other elements, except, I think, water, too. But he does get lightning and fire attacks. So, yeah, he's very versatile. He gets, eventually, a group heal move. He has, right now, he should have a regular heal move. Let's actually look at his stats. So yeah, he starts with his Cure Beam already accessible. We can get Laser Spin within the next couple of battles. And, yeah, as far as his speed, he's at 6. So let's switch Luca back to the bandana, and we'll put the speed belt on Robo. That'll actually bring his speed up in line with Luca, at least. Actually makes him slightly faster. Which I'm thinking we may actually still want Luca to be a little faster, so let's actually switch that back around. Let's give Robo the bandana, and Luca the speed belt again. I think that's probably the best idea. Alright. Okay, so... lab area, right factory area. The factory area is optional. But, once again, we can get some items and such, so we might as well do it. The lab area is the actual goal. This way first, I think, to get a couple of items. Maybe not, yeah. And I think the same is true down here too, if I remember right. Oh no, we can actually get a chest here, which has a bow for Marley, who's not in the party at the moment. So we'll have to try to remember to put that on her when we get her back. So we got laser spin and we got a double tech for Robo and Chrono already. And we might as well try that out right now. So we'll do rocket roll on these things. The one disadvantage of not taking Marley here again is that you don't have access to her aura for healing. You do have the Cure Beam on Robo, which doesn't help if you're already attacking with him, but otherwise you're kind of limited to Luca using potions. I'm second guessing the accessories on Robo and Luca. I might switch those back around again. Have the belt on Robo and the bandana on Luca. So once we have full control back, we'll switch that back. Just make Robo a little bit faster. Quick. Okay, there we go. XA and BB are the two combinations we want to do. That's Robo's heal move. The one he has currently. Again, he actually does get a group heal later. There's XA. That moves this barrel. Do BB. That moves the other barrel. All right. So there's the other bolt sword, which we don't need since we already have one. So that just, after getting that computer and the bolt sword, that just gives us a shortcut back to the elevator so we can go to the lab side. Again, the factory side that we just went through was really optional. But again, just some items. The bolt sword we already had one of, but we can sell the other one. These things have high defense, but fortunately they don't have much HP. Chemical burn. So the hammer arm obviously goes to Robo, let's see, for defense, the Titan vest, we will get more of those for pretty much every character later, but for the actual defense now, we'll give that to Luca, since she has the lowest. This computer. I kind of forget if these are immune to these special moves or not. Let's try the rocket roll on them. And we can try flame toss on a bunch of them too. Oh yeah, they're pretty much immune to shadow damage, which is what rocket roll does. And yeah, they're probably immune to all magic-based attacks. Just do a cyclone on these three. Here. Fortunately, there's no boss in this part of the factory. There is kind of a boss fight at the very end of the sequence. There's the plasma gun. That has a random stop effect on robots. So, X, A, B, Y. Kind of a Metroid-like escape sequence here. Turn the elevator off in emergencies. I don't really know why there's an elevator there to begin with. This is pretty rough. This is as traumatic as Johnny 5 getting destroyed by the thugs in Short Circuit 2, isn't it? Alright, so this fight is actually a little bit easier with Luca, I think, than Marley, because you can use Fire Whirl on these things. So 2 more Fire Whirls ought to do it. Although we might want to do a regular Cyclone and then have Luca throw a potion on Chrono. It's probably wise. And then we can do a Fire Whirl on the next turn, which actually, Fire Whirl doesn't do a whole lot more damage than the Cyclone did. Either. Yeah. Alright, come on, Luca. Gate malfunctions. The game has to come up with an excuse to only let us have 3 people in the party at a time, after all. Alright, so just before I forget, let's put that Robin bow on Marley there. I just wondered when he says that, who else has been popping up at the end of time? And why not just have 3 go through the gate, and then the others wait a little bit, and then they go through too. So for now, we'll stick with Marley and Luca. I would love to use Robo, but at the moment, for the next little section, the next dungeon and boss, Luca and Marley are the best option. Alright, so this is where we can get magic on the 3 human characters. Thought I did that right. So there's 1. What? This is annoying. Like, why do you have to do this? There we go. Why not? If you win the little battles with Specchio, you actually do get, I think, a set of items for each level that you beat him at. And if we win this, we'll actually get the double tech for Luca and Marley. and 5 ethers, that's not bad. I'll just have to remember to buy a couple of revives to replace those two. We do get a refill on all of our HP and MP, so that's nice. So, again, we're gonna, when we leave here, we're gonna take Marley and Luca, but we'll take Robo, just so you can see what this guy says about Robo. So, yeah, he just kind of confirms that Robo is the shadow type character. He gets the laser spin, which does actual shadow damage, and he also eventually will get fire and lightning attacks also. So I think we're full, but do that, and then we'll just save here, and then we can head back to that one. I'm just looking at the clock. I'm going to stop this session. I think after... We'll do this next dungeon. This will be a long... It already is a long video. I can't say it will be. But, yeah, we'll play a little bit longer for this session. So we'll check out this village a little bit. So it looks like we're gonna need to take Magus out, huh? So you can fight a battle and then get the store and the inn in this town available, but it's not really worth it because they overcharge you, even after winning that battle. And there's nothing you really need for sale anyway. So the speed tab, we'll actually want to use that on Robo. In fact, we can switch him temporarily back into the party. You can push Y to swap party members at any time without going back to the end of time. So let's give Robo that speed tab. Could have used it on Luca too, actually. I actually noticed when switching from the menus there, Ozzy's sprite here, the Ozzy the 7th is purple, but the normal Ozzy sprite is green, and you can actually see a split second when you switch back from the menu where he shows as green, and then switches to the purple color palette. I never noticed that before. That's kind of neat. There's actually another tab here. The speed tabs are actually hard to find in this game. There's not too many of them. So yeah, the monsters in the cave we're gonna go through are only immune to magic, and that's why we took Marley and Luca together instead of Robo. So actually, let's check out this pyramid too. So, yeah, nothing else we can do here other than look at it. Yeah, this is certainly interesting, whatever it is I'm looking at. We'll find out later. We'll actually eventually be able to go into that pyramid. Alright, so we'll head to the west here. And it's our old friend Melchior. So we can get the red katana for Chrono, and the weapon, the Marley, Luca, and Robo weapons we already have, but we can also get 2 more Titan vests for Chrono and Marley, so everybody will have one. So we'll put the red katana on Chrono and the Titan vest here, and we should be good to go. Actually, let's sell off some duplicate stuff while we're here. I keep forgetting to do that. So the bolt sword and the load sword, we have 2 of each of those, and we don't need 2 of each of those. I mean, we don't even need to keep them at all, but again, I like, for completionist's sake, I like to keep 1 of each weapon and armor. So we'll sell the other bolt sword. We could sell 1 of the hide tunics. We can sell a bronze mail. We can sell a maiden suit. We can sell 2 of the iron suits. 2 of the hide suits, 2 of the bronze helms. Yeah. So that's some extra cash, anyway. Again, we still kept 1 of each, just cause. We actually have Frog's starting weapon still in the inventory, so we'll see Frog again, of course. Alright, so I think we'll do this cave and then we'll save on the other side of it. These guys are just the same as they were in the cathedral. This is a fairly short dungeon, anyway. I think they really just kind of designed this dungeon as kind of a practice run for magic attacks. We are getting tech points again, since now we have magic on everybody. So it'll be a while before anybody gets their next ability, but we have some decent ones coming up, anyway. So I think this way is just a chest. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, since I gave that speed tab to Robo, I think if I swap the bandana and the speed belt between Robo and Luca again, I think they'll actually be equalized on speed at this point. The next speed tab I'll have to give to Luca. Although I think she naturally gains speed a little bit more than Robo does, so... yeah, let's do this. See what happens. So she's at 8, and now he's gonna be at 8 too. Yeah, that works. Oh, magic scarf. Actually, we should put that on Luca, so we'll just give the speed belt back to Robo, I guess. It does put Luca at a pretty strong speed disadvantage, but oh well. To get some of these guys taken out with a fire whirl. Let's try that. Marley do ice on the other one. Yeah, that did it. Yeah, again, the fire whirl, even though we already had that attack, it does count as magic damage. So that made that easy. Be able to hit a couple of these in a line with Luca's flame toss too. Let's try that. I can get 2 of them anyway. Yeah, that worked pretty good. remember, there's a chest, a sealed chest down here too. And I think this one is a very good item if I remember right. So we'll want to come back for that when we're able to open it. Alright, so we use a shelter here. There's just a boss fight on the other side of this door. So we'll try out the double attack for Marley and Luca. This should do some good damage on him. So in this fight, it's kind of interesting because of the extra damage you get from Antipode from Marley and Luca. It almost kind of defaults Chrono into a healer role using potions. So he can obviously use lightning when he doesn't need to use a potion on anybody, but yeah, it's kind of a different dynamic for this than most of the other boss fights. This boss does eventually go into a state where you can't attack him. Kind of the Final Fantasy first boss gimmick. There it is. So we'll use that opportunity to just throw potion on Luca there. Alright, so we broke that defense state so we can start attacking him again. Basically, it's just spamming Antipode and Chrono's lightning whenever you're able to. Alright, so there's a couple things we want to do back in town here now that we're back in our own time. So first, since we're right next to it, we'll go to Luca's house. And we want to get her father to show up downstairs. So he comes in to give Lara the money from the day. Then he goes downstairs and we should be able to talk to him there and get an item for a piece of armor specifically for Luca. Tab invest, which should be good for a while on Luca. It's definitely even better than the Titan vest that she has now. But yeah, it gives her a speed boost, and it boosts fire defense in addition to just increasing her defense. So that's a good piece of armor for her. And she's actually equal in speed again to Marley, and she's almost caught up to Robo also. So, so we don't forget to do it later, we'll go into the forest here. And we'll go to the time gate in here so that it's unlocked at the end of time. Let's see if we can avoid the battles here. They're not really worth fighting at this point for the little bit of experience they give you. So yeah, eventually, and I'm not sure what specific point in the game triggers it, but eventually there will be a log going across right here, so you can't go back this way into this time gate. So if you don't have it unlocked from the end of time, you actually miss out on this sealed chest when we get to the point that we're able to open those. And I think this is a very good item too, if I remember right. Again, trying to remember which item is where in those sealed boxes. So yeah, we got that unlocked there, which is good. So now we'll just go back. And it actually unlocked the one at the other end to the future. Also, the future Marty! Alright, so... and we'll just do a little bit of busy work in town, and then we'll call it for this play session. Alright, so we'll go to the shop. So the kid that we saved in the tower in the prison is back. So yeah, 10 mid-eaters, that's pretty good. Those will probably come in handy. And I actually don't think we really checked out the other houses in town, which there's nothing essential there, but let's see what he has for sale, actually. Same stuff as Melchior, I think. Let's grab some extra mid-tonics, and yeah, a couple extra shelters, and that's all he has in stock, so that should be good. Yeah, let's make an even 30 mid-tonics. So we didn't go to the inn here. You don't need to stay in this inn ever, because you can just stay at Chrono's house. Save the 10 gold. I kind of forget if she plays a random song or not, if it's always this one. Let's find out, actually, just while we're here. Also, let's find out if it actually takes money away when you buy the drink for her. So we have 7506. Oh, it actually does take 10 gold. Huh. Try it one more time, again, just to see if it's truly random, or if it just always plays the Middle Ages overworld. Yeah, I think it is random. I think it's, like, random between the overworld themes. At least the ones you've been to already. So, the Mayor's Manor we actually did go to already. I always found that kind of funny. She's just kind of sitting, staring into space, and says, "I'm so happy I could scream." And this house just has her in it. So, do we need the inn? Yeah. So, again, instead of actually staying at the inn, we'll just use Chrono's room. Yeah, how about that, Chrono? 2 chicks in your twin-size bed there? It's the Seinfeld version of George Steinbrenner might say. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, kitty. Wonder where my cats went. They were floating around all over the place down here at the beginning of the video. So we'll introduce Mom to Luca, who she actually already knows, but we get a little dialogue. And we could actually, we might as well get the dialogue for Robo while we're here, too. Again, you can do this with each character. Alright, so let's just go through the time gate to the Middle Ages, and we'll save there. This will unlock this time gate at the end of time also. And I think this is, yeah, Truce Canyon. Market here, I don't think there's anything new. No. And I think there is an NPC that shows up in the cathedral. I don't think they say anything specifically important, but and they're not here yet anyway. That's alright. So I think we'll check out the bridge. We do have to come back here to advance, but we have to go to the castle first. I don't remember if you actually go to the bridge, have to go to the bridge first or not. Yeah, we learned that the hero, this nameless hero, has already gone across. You know, I think we actually want to switch Robo into the party for this part, too. Let's stick with Marley for now, as the third character. So I'll get the extra shelter here, get to the other end of the forest, and drop a save, and then we'll call it for now. There's our free shelter. Gotta get that anytime we come through this forest. Okay, there we go. So that'll be a good place to pick up next time. Which, the next part of the game, the next section, deals with searching for the Masamune, and eventually it will bring Frog back into our party. So we'll have Frog back fairly soon. Just looking at everybody's stats, everybody looks good right now, I think. Yeah, let's stick with Robo, I think, for this next part. Maybe I want to do Luca still. Or maybe we want to switch Luca for Marley. I don't know. Well, we'll worry about that next time anyway. So, just level up on the save. So yeah, thanks for joining for the second part of Chrono Trigger. Pretty good ways in to the early game at least. So yeah, we will try to do another one of these soon. I may or may not have time tomorrow to do some. We'll see. But otherwise next week probably. But yeah, otherwise we'll see you again. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. And we'll see you soon. Anyway, have a good one.